What up, guys? So I got a question from Army Mike, who's having trouble getting a collar choke here. So basically, he had the collar choke sunk in, but then his opponent, his training partner, grabbed onto his sleeve, his wrist, and he just couldn't finish the damn thing. I know this has probably happened to a bunch of you guys, and if it has, I'm going to show you 4 ways to deal with this so you can finish and have a stronger collar choke. All right, let's get into it, Army Mike. Also, shout out to Army Mike. He came to the Chewjitsu camp about 2 years ago, coming here to train before. Cool guy. So let's go into this. I'm going to show you the 4 tips that have been the most useful to me as far as finishing collar chokes. These might be really simple to you, but again, some of them are like so simple that again, once you see them, you kind of think to yourself, why haven't I done this sooner? So first here, we get into this grip here. May even be lower, doesn't matter. We're going to do a basic collar feed. So the collar feed works like this. We start with the grip and we use the other hand to pull. And the way you do this is you loosen up just a little bit, not letting go, but just loosen up and you pull like that. And you can cinch up the grip. And the best part about this is let's say if he's grabbing onto my wrist here, I can open my hand just a little bit, feed. Open my hand a little bit, feed. And I can get tighter and tighter. So even if they're holding it down, I can get that grip up higher and higher to finish whatever collar choke I'm trying to go for. Tip number 2, Army Mike, is going to be to use your whole body for the choke. So here's something that a lot of people do when they get these collar chokes. They get into this position here, right? And they'll try to just use their arms to finish. And again, they'll get those burned forearms and they get tired. Again, if you have tired hands when you're doing collar chokes, that's going to be a problem. And if you're doing that, then here's a way to fix that. We're going to use primarily our hips and our upper back. So I've talked about this before. If we want to put pressure on someone, we don't want to necessarily squeeze. We want to think about extending our back to press our chest into someone. Okay, so let's say that we're in this position and it's kind of hard. It's one of these are one of those hard things to explain through a video, but I'll try to do my best to explain it with my body. So let's say if I've got Adam in some sort of choke here, I've got the grip where it needs to be, okay? Now, he could be grabbing on whatever, okay? So he's in this position. If I just use my hands here, he's able to defend. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pinch my heels together, pinch my knees together. I'm going to extend my hips, and I'm going to extend my back here, okay? So again, it becomes a whole body movement, and this is what we want to do with any of our submissions. You don't want it to be just arms or just legs or whatever. You want to use your whole entire body. So again, I've got this grip here, and he's holding. I can squeeze all I want to with the arms. It's not happening, but heels in, pinch the knees, extend your hips forward, and then stand tight. I'm going to press my chest into him by flexing my upper back to get the finish. That's number 2. Number 3, pretty simple. Before we start going for the neck, it would probably be a good idea to trap the arms, right? So again, we don't have to do any or all of these, but these are good ideas, again, things to play with. So again, if I get here, I can start to pin these grips here and start to trap these arms and get them out of the way, where now it makes it much easier to get these collar chokes in position. So again, if you're finding that you get these collar chokes, Mike, right? You're here and you're trying to finish them, you can't because they're defending, then put yourself into a position where you can start to get rid of those hands. And now it becomes my hands versus his one. And again, I can win that game almost every time. And the last one, Mike, number 4, and again, this is important. Put yourself into positions that are going to allow you to engage the absolute most of your body and you can get the most power, right? So again, we can talk about, these grips here and everything else. But again, one of the most powerful cross collar chokes is a bow and arrow choke. And again, there's other ways to do this. But if we get into a position here, let's say if I'm having trouble finishing it, I can start to grab this leg here and start to come up here. Now, what's significant about the bow and arrow choke is that we are nice in an upright position and we can engage with our hips and our arms and everything else. So even if Adam was grabbing here, I can start to trap over top here. I can grab the leg and I can really extend my whole body, and it makes it very difficult to defend. And again, if you look at a lot of the stats they do for jiu-jitsu, the bow and arrow choke is one of the most powerful, one of the most effective collar chokes that gets used in competitions and everything else. And again, if you've ever rolled with someone who had a good bow and arrow choke, it's a tough one to defend. And again, what we're doing here is we're putting ourselves in a position where we're able to use the maximum amount of power in conjunction with our technique to get the finish. All right, Army Mike, and anybody else that's having trouble finishing those collar chokes from back, hopefully those tips are useful to you. Again, put them into play. You don't have to use them all every single time. You can use one or you can use all four. It doesn't matter. Again, they're just ideas to look for. And those are really useful to me. When I think about like the top 4 things that I do and I'm trying to finish from back with the gi on and with collar chokes, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to feed the collar, put myself in a better position, trap the arms if I need to, which in most cases we do. And then again, when you're trying to finish, engage the entire body in the movement, not just using your hands. So again, thank you guys for watching. I'm finished. Adam?
Adam.